Hi everyone, how are you doing? Miss you all and hope you are safe. Today we will study the themes of the novel. Let's start our lecture. The first theme is the body. Actually, throughout Gulliver's travels, the narrator spends a great deal of time discussing the human body, looking at the body from new perspectives gives Gulliver a special insight into the body's materiality. When he is small, he can see the minute details of others' bodies. By looking closely at the body as a material thing and paying attention to what humans do on a daily basis, Swift makes it impossible to look at humans as spiritual or intellectual beings. The second theme is narrow-mindedness and enlightenment. Throughout his travels, Gulliver comes into contact with several different races of people, all of which are narrow-minded in some way. Many of the people narrow-minded, such as the Lilliputians who have goals about the correct way to open or to crack an egg. Also, the animals who are so revered by Gulliver cannot believe there are other reasonable ways of living. Much of Swift's satirical focus is on people who cannot see past their own ways, their own power, or their own beliefs. That's why we can say Gulliver finds himself on four different occasions, coming across different races of people and creatures. These races teach him new language, customs, lessons, and general knowledge of their own individual societies. And these descriptions are many times believed to be Swift's way of criticizing the Enlightenment that occurred during the 18th century all over the world. And this brings a satirical look at religion, morality, equality, and the ability to adapt to other societies. And that's why we can say throughout Swift's novel there are many satirical relationships between Swift's adventures and the events of the Enlightenment of the 18th century. These relationships are usually very extreme, but do provide parallels, sometimes criticizing main themes of events during the Enlightenment. Throughout his travels, Gulliver becomes a better-rounded person from interaction with creatures of all sorts. Similarly to Gulliver, the Enlightenment period put the world as a whole under massive change in technology, culture, and religion. These changes have allowed for the successes and downfalls of today's society as we know it. Our third theme is awareness. Actually, this theme plays a large part in Gulliver's travels. Throughout his travels, Gulliver never quite fits in, regardless of how long he stays. Partly this is a matter of size. For example, in Lullaby, he is the only giant. In Brobdingnagian, everyone else is giant. And he is small. Mainly, however, it is a matter of being different and simply from elsewhere. In Hanuman, where there actually are human beings, but they are disgusting creatures with whom Gulliver certainly cannot relate. Finally, after spending years with the Hannemans and coming to consider them better in every way than humanity, Gulliver is still a human. Yet his experience has made him an outsider in England, completely disgusted every with even his own wife and children. And that's why we can say Gulliver finds himself witnessing all sorts of absurdities in his travels. Truth and deception are prominent themes in Gulliver's travels. For one thing, the reader is questioning whether or not Gulliver is a reliable narrator, simply because what he is conveying is so fantastic. Also, most critics and readers determine that Gulliver is reliable. One sign of his honesty is established within the first few pages when he tells the reader about where he came from. Also, our comfort with Gulliver's reliability is challenged in the last chapter of the novel. When Gulliver tells his readers he cannot tell a lie, and swears this oath. Also, in the text, lying does appear within Gulliver's travels. For example, in Lullaby, he learns that for the Lilliputians, lying is a punishment and is considered worse than stealing. In the country of the Hennimans, Gulliver is surprised to learn that the Hennimans have no concept of what it means to lie. Their complete honesty is part of what makes Gulliver decide that they are the noblest creatures on earth. Now we are having the theme of moral versus physical power. By placing Gulliver amongst people of different physical circumstances than his own, Gulliver's travels dramatize the distinction between moral and physical power. For example, in Lullaby, Gulliver's huge size advantage over the Lilliputians would make it easy for him to treat them like inhuman, and to assert himself against them by physical force. But Gulliver's willingness to empathize, reason with, and respect the Lilliputians, despite their diminutive size, yields a much more meaningful, rewarding experience. Conversely, in Brobdingnag, people could easily dehumanize Gulliver, but Gulliver is impressed by their kindness and willingness to listen and empathize with him. Through the example of the Lilliputians' ridiculous fetal battles over how best to crack an egg, the novel suggests the absurdity of all warfare as a means to settle matters of the mind and faith. As the novel considers the dangers of physical power in society, it also considers the physical character of the individual and reflects on how best to handle one's body. The Lilliputians' obsession with reason and knowledge has rendered them utterly out of touch with their bodies. Their inability to function in the practical physical world has in turn destroyed their society, and their example indicates that ignoring physical reality leads to suffering. Also, among the Yahoos and Hanimans, Gulliver learns that the possession of a human body doesn't automatically elevate a person over the animals. The Yahoos are much more bestial than the animal humans. This directly contradicts the common European assertion of the time that human bodies were automatically superior to animal bodies, because the human form contained moral and rational power. Indeed, the animal possesses a stronger moral compass and sense of reason than the others, and the Europeans alike. That's why, at each instance, the novel shows that true superiority and worthy power come from a moral and rational mind in harmony with the body it inhabits. Now let us examine the narration of the novel. The most significant aspect of Swift's narrative technique is the use of Gulliver as an unreliable narrator. At first, his narration, through detail and revelation of embarrassing events, leads the reader to trust Gulliver, because he is an educated man, and he approaches each new situation with almost clinical precision. Yet slowly he begins to reveal himself as humanly fallible. He admits to lying about English history in order to present his country as more favorable to the Brobdingnagian king. He also appears naive and a bit dense, as he cannot grasp any society different from that of England. That's right. Or at the same time, we can see through that questioning of Gulliver as the narrator, the satire of the text is evident. Also, a careful analysis of Gulliver's travels reveals the fact that the primary function of Gulliver is essentially that of an observer and a narrator. He has an extraordinary power of observation. However, Gulliver also acts as a commentator, through whom Swift conveys his criticism of mankind and his critical attitude to English institutions and politicians of his time. In the very beginning, he gives biographical details and becomes, at once becomes a living person. He is a keen observer of men and manners. For example, in Lullaby, he observes that the natives are great mathematicians and narrates how he is transported to the metropolis. After he is released, he goes around the town and gives a vivid description of the style of living, the habits and beliefs of the people and their laws and customs. That's why Gulliver's skill as a narrator is extraordinary. He narrates dramatic events as well as humorous episodes in order to satisfy our curiosity and add an element of realism in his descriptions. Also, the comic and the dramatic moments are powerfully done in the first three voyages. Gulliver is also presented as a commentator and a moral judge. He not only observes and narrates, but also deeply thinks and comments, uh, and he often ponders over what he sees and draws conclusions from his experiences. Thank you very much for listening and have a good day.